just love you.
Let's ride.
I love our 60-second long, 30-second intro. I love
that. Was so ridiculously long. I want to start the day off, guys. One, great to see you. Two, Joe Racky, go yourself. All right, all right, dude.
Yeah, we are 17 minutes late, fashionably early for us, I would say, and we know why, but we don't need to get into that. British Raven says evening, y'all. Pigtown says good morning. What's up,
Jack?
What's up, Nick? Coming off a Ravens win, but more importantly for the Rothschild family, coming off our mother Vicky's birthday. Want to mention that first at the top. Happy belated birthday now. Yesterday was Vicky Rothschild's birthday. That is Brooks and I's mom. Happy birthday, Mom. We love you. Thank you so much for everything you did for us growing up.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Vicky. Happy birthday. You're the best.
She had a nice little birthday gift with the Ravens. Whooping that ass.
Stomping. Also, my best friend Brian Mayhew shares a birthday with my mother, which has definitely not caused any problems in my life before. Brian, happy birthday to you as well, and your family. Hopefully everything is good. Let's just get it out of the way at the top. We love Canada on this podcast, don't we, Brian?
Well, you should get everything that went on in your betting yesterday because this is absurd.
Just get this out of the way. Just brag. Take your pants off.
Dusty won a lot of money yesterday.
I won a lot of money this weekend. The last 3 days have gone really well for me. I put some money on Nick Taylor as a flyer yesterday because he was 16-1. He was in like 5th or 6th place. And of course, he chips in for Eagle on 18 in spectacular fashion. He goes to a playoff, birdies the first 2 playoff holes. Just the guy's complete stud. When he gets into a playoff, he's unstoppable. He's 3-0. And he won the Sony Open, the Hawaii golf tournament this weekend. And he won me a nice little pretty penny at $400. The Bills killed it for me yesterday. As you guys know, I was all over the Bills versus the Broncos. So I hit a couple big parlays on that game. I won some money on the Ravens the day before. I won some money on Ladd McConkey the day before that. It's just been a really, really good weekend. And yeah, just gambling wise, at least it's been a pretty good go of it for me.
You had a great weekend. You had a great weekend. But what this means now is everything you touch is going to turn to ash moving forward. So don't bet on the Ravens this coming week, please.
I already did. I have already.
Great.
So I'm sorry. These are a couple of the bets I hit yesterday. Honestly, I don't usually bet this heavily, but it was just one of those things where I was having a crazy good weekend and I had these bonus bets and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go for it. I believe in Buffalo. So that was James Cook to score a touchdown, parlayed with Buffalo minus 19.5. That was an alternate line. I had a free bet, so I put that on there. That hit. And also I had Buffalo minus 8.5, and those yard totals were Cortland Sutton, James Cook, and Khalil Shakir, which all hit, I think, by the third quarter. And so I was just waiting for Buffalo to win that game. And I didn't hedge it at all because I was already up for the weekend. It was just good. I let everything ride and it worked out for me. And I've had weekends where it did not work out for me at all. So yeah, anyway, right, what do you guys want to talk about first? You want to talk about the Ravens? You want to talk about the Bills? You want to talk about the games in order?
Let's talk about this. I mean, let me share the other screen of your Nick Taylor bet.
I want to talk about how you're going to be buying Golden Corral for all of us, man.
I mean, I could buy some Golden Corral for all of you. I don't know that I've ever been to a Golden Corral, if I'm honest with you. There
That's
was
a
one
shame.
on Ordnance Road right by Dixon Best Buy where we used to go. Right, Brooks?
Oh,
Yeah.
what was the
Wasn't there?
one? I used to go to a
Cactus Willie's?
Cactus Willie's. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Cactus Willie's.
I was
Was
like,
that a
what, I was
thing?
like, what was the Pasadena one? I couldn't. That's what it was. Cactus Willie's.
Yeah, this was another one yesterday. This was my ticket for Nick Taylor. Before 18, I looked at the odds. He was third in the odds. He was 400 to 1 because he needed to eagle and he needed help from the guys who were leading to bogey, and all of it happened. But I didn't cash this out either. I let it ride, and he won. I won the 420.
I know I always stick around with you about the Canadian stuff, but why Nick Taylor? Did he win this last year? Did he have a really good showing the last couple of years?
No, on Saturday. On Saturday he went off to he shot like a 65 or 66 to get into contention because he was out of contention for most of the tournament. And I had bet him to place top 5 in the tournament earlier in the week just because I love him. And I looked at the leaderboard yesterday, and I had just won a ton of money the night before. And I was like, shit, I got to pick a golfer today. So I looked down the list, and of course, 5th or 6th on the list is Nick Taylor. I got to take him. He's my boy. And I turned the golf tournament off. I was watching the Eagles and Packers game, and my buddy who was tailing me this weekend because I've been so hot texted me. He was like, holy shit, Nick Taylor just chipped in. So I didn't even get to see it. I turned it on right after they're going replays. And so I watched the golf intently after that. And the 2 guys that were behind him on the tee, he was the second to last group to play. They both needed a bogey a hole or par this par 5 18th hole, and everything worked out. And then Nick Taylor went into a playoff, and he won it in the second playoff hole after 2 straight birdies. So that was why I picked him, just because he's my boy and just because he's won me money before. But it worked out. He's my boy. Go Canada.
That dude has been winning you money hand over foot.
I know, dude.
Last foot?
Yeah, he won me so much. But yeah, let's talk about. I know a lot of people don't want to talk about golf, especially in January. So we're gonna get straight into the football action, then we'll talk some Orioles at the end before we do our snake draft. You guys just want to do the games in order of which they happened, or how do you want to do? You want to do Ravens at the top? What do you guys want to do?
Why don't we go in the order?
Okay. So Texans Chargers is the first game. That was on Saturday afternoon around 4:00, 4:30, whatever. This game sucked. It says the description on this article that I pulled says the first game of the NFL wildcard round did not disappoint. Yes, it did. This game was terrible. I don't know what they're
AI
talking
right
about
this
here. I got it off Thiessen. So
you're still in a heater. You're on an emotional heater too. I
guess I'm on an emotional heater. I won a lot of money this weekend. It was good. It was a good weekend.
Now we don't have to work no more.
I think a lot of us, and I think all of us on this podcast, I think we were all riding the Chargers last week, and maybe somebody was on Houston. I can't remember. But yeah, I texted my buddy Nick, who watches this show, Nick Votes, shout out, and he was like, I was like, what the hell happened to the Chargers? And he was like, Greg Roman. I don't have to text you any other thing. I don't know. Here's the thing. I'll just lay out to you guys first. Justin Herbert threw 3 interceptions this year. He threw 4 in this game on Saturday. So he threw more picks on Saturday than he threw the entire season.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they were all his fault either.
Not great, but yeah, I just want to shoot it over to you. Do you guys think it was just Herbert collapsing? Do you think it was a team effort that the Chargers lost? Were we surprised that Houston came out hot? Brian, let's go to you first, and then we'll go to Bruce.
I don't want to, because typical fashion of all of us is they place blame somewhere immediately. I just think the Texans pressured him pretty decently, and then he got pressured. He got panicked a little bit there. Maybe the Sam Darnold I'm seeing ghost kind of shit. They were not all on Justin Herbert. It was a team collective effort by the Texans to attack Herbert the way they did, and they did a great job. Antonio, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Antonio? How you doing, buddy?
No, I mean, they weren't his fault in the sense that, McConkey it wasn't the greatest thrown ball in the world, but it went through his hands and got picked, and then another one got tipped and got picked. I can't remember the other 2 off the top of my head. One was, why can't I think of the other 2? But but yeah, they weren't all his fault for sure. Like I said,
though, wasn't he?
Yeah, like I said, were they the greatest throwing balls in the world? No, but I mean,
No.
the ball literally went through McConkey's hands, and it was like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, and he's been reliable all year for them too. That was surprising.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he had a great game. I think he had like 200 yards and a touchdown, so he had a great game on offense. But
yeah,
we haven't seen Joe Mixon have a really very good game in like 5-6 weeks, and it seems like that Houston Texans offense kind of rides as Joe Mixon rides. And he had a pretty good game. He had over 100 yards. He had a touchdown, his first touchdown in like 6 weeks or something like that after he started off the season so hot. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Nico Collins went over 100 yards. I was talking to our. Go ahead, Brooks.
I was like, he didn't even start the game running the ball that well. They kind of put the ball in Stroud's hands to make a bunch of plays, and I feel like he got a majority of those yards towards the end of the game when they were trying to bleed some clock. So I think that's even more of an indictment on the Chargers when they were actively not playing very well the first half and still couldn't get a lead and pull away at all. So.
I was talking to our dad, who's grew up a Chargers fan, doesn't watch them as intently now that they're Los Angeles because he's a San Diego guy, but he still watches them, especially the playoff games. And he was basically saying after the first quarter, it was 6-0 Chargers, and he thought at that point it should probably be closer to like 14 or 20-0 Chargers because they let a lot of opportunities slip. They got that turnover in the first half or in the first quarter and ended up with 3 points instead of 6 or 7 there. And the same thing, it seemed like they stalled out when they got towards the red area of the field. I think starting a game like that, especially in the playoffs, especially on the road when the other team's got a pretty decent pass rush, it's going to be really tough. And then basically they just couldn't score in the middle of the game. They just couldn't do anything. Dobbins had 26 yards rushing, and he was the leading rusher on the Chargers. That's not good.
It almost looked like they got out of their comfort zone. Like they forgot their identity during the game. Like live in action lost their identity. And that's not a normal Jim Harbaugh situation.
That's what the Ravens did against the Chiefs last year. That's what it felt like, at least.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, he only threw the ball 32 times, which isn't crazy. But the time of possession was probably way different if I had to guess. I don't have that stat here. Well, I mean, and when you turn the ball, I mean, whenever you turn the ball over 4 times, there's just no. I think the last one was a desperation, heave. So I don't even want to count that one. But it's whenever you get down, whenever you turn the ball over that many times, you should lose the game.
Yeah. I mean, I got nothing else. I don't think Greg Roman should be calling plays for them anymore, but I'm assuming he probably will be because they had a decent year. I know that their identity is that they want to build in the trenches, run the ball, control the line of scrimmage. Herbert threw for a ton less yards and touchdowns this year, but also, like I said, only had 3 picks all year. So they were more conservative with him. And he was also playing hurt a lot of the year, which he's kind of been doing his whole career. It seems like
since he got in the league, he's been hurt.
Yeah. I did see after the game ended that Khalil Mack said he was mulling retirement. So he might not be there for them next year. Honestly, that might be a blessing in disguise for them because he's a huge cap hit. And at this point, he's probably not worth that huge number that he's getting at anymore. No slight to Khalil Mack, obviously complete stud in his heyday, but he's an older player now. And this is what happens. Older players regress and, they're still on these wild contracts. And we were talking about it with Corbin Burns. Do we want to sign that 6-year, 7-year deal? And he's probably only going to be good for 4 or 5 of it, and then you're just going to eat the money at the end. That's sort of what's going on with Khalil Mack right now. And he's still impactful. I shouldn't say that, but he's hurt a lot, and he's older now, and he's just not as consistent. Anyway, I don't know. What did you guys take from the Chargers season? Do you guys give the Chargers, give them A through F? What did you say? Going into this season, based on your expectations, how do you think they performed? They got to the playoffs. They won 11 games. I'll let you guys go first. I'm pretty positive on them, though.
I mean, I give them a B plus A minus, especially Jim Harbaugh just turned that whole place around in a year, basically. They went from 8 wins last year to 11 wins or 7 wins last year?
They had less than that because they were like the number 5 overall pick. They
To
took
11
Joe Hall.
to 11 wins this year. They've, for all intents and purposes, established a culture now. Seems like they know who they are. So, I mean, really, this is great to build off of. I don't think anybody expected them to make the playoffs this year, probably.
5 wins last year. 5 wins.
5. So 5 to 11.
That's
That's
turnaround.
huge turnaround in a hard in a tough division.
Mhm.
With the Chiefs and the Raiders and why am I blanking on the last one right now?
Broncos.
Who also made the playoffs. Yeah. So they had 3 teams make the playoffs. So yeah, it's I give it a B+ or an A-. I mean, I think they've just off the fact that they've established their culture, they know who they are. It seems like they're buying in, they're ready to go. They just need to now it comes down to making moves and getting people in the right place in the right places. So maybe Khalil Mack's the first of that, maybe getting a new offensive coordinator. I think they'll keep him there because he does like the ground and pound. It at least establishes that's where you're going to go. That's where your mind's at. And then once that gets established, you can kind of, it's kind of what we did, right? I mean, we did that with Lamar. And then once we have that established, there's no more, we've kind of maxed that out. Then we went out and got Monken and was like, all right, now let's open this up a little bit. And maybe that's what Jim's trying to do. I don't know.
I mean, Brooks basically took everything I was going to say. I mean, I was literally going to go B. So, I mean, Brooks took everything.
Yeah, I'd be happy. I mean, if I'm a Chargers fan, I'd be pretty happy.
I'd be pretty happy too. I think B or B+ is where I would sit too, just because this is kind of going to leave a sour taste in your mouth how they performed in this last game of the year. But really, expectations wise, and just not taking this game into account quite as much. I totally agree with you. I would have thought that they were going to win 7 or 8 games this year and be a little frisky and, maybe give some of the better teams a run for their money, but they were a lot better than that. They were a legit playoff team. And it sucks that they had such a shitty game in their last game of the season. But I definitely agree. I think they had an upswing for the year, and I would be a positive if I was a Chargers.
Their draft picks overperformed, I think.
McConkey. I mean,
McConkey was great.
First rounder, he looked like
I mean, everyone expected Alt to be good, but I mean,
he's all worldly. He's so good.
Yeah.
He's probably a top 5 offensive lineman.
I mean, that was best case scenario, right? I mean, that was above bit, but I don't expect a guy, even no matter how good you think he's going to be as his first year, to be that good.
They're a watch out next year kind of team.
Watch out for the next 10 years.
If they end up in that they're going to end up in the middle of the draft somewhere, the low teens, early 20s. I mean, if they end up with Genty or Cam Scatabo or one of those huge playmaker running backs, I mean, they're going to run the ball and they're going to commit to it. I know people don't like taking running backs in the first round anymore, but they're the kind of team that really could succeed doing that. And we saw the Lions. They like trenches. They like ground and pound. They took Jahmyr Gibbs, and look how that's working out for him. He scored 4 touchdowns last week.
Football is cyclical. Look at the teams that are actually thriving right now. It's a lot of running, of run. Can you get a stop on defense, and can you run the football? And look, that's who the Chargers are going. What they are, and what they're going to be even better at next year.
Yeah,
I think they need another good wide receiver. Who's their tight end there?
They need
Disley. Will Disley. Yeah. So they need a tight end. I could see them obviously going out and either drafting high another offensive lineman, and could see them going to draft a big time D end. I just don't know what the draft has. I'm not an analyst in that sense, but I mean, there are a few pieces away from being really freaking good.
Yeah. And
by the way, when the draft happens, can we do drafts at the draft and we just drink draft beer together?
Sure.
Fuck yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
All right, now that we got that out of the way.
To get draft beer into my house, but
man, you really talked us into that one. Maybe we'll get together for the draft.
Hey, why not?
Go to a bar and do it.
On the other side, Houston comes out and they win this playoff game. A lot of people didn't like the way they finished the season. Didn't like the way that they were performing, underperforming really in the AFC South. Over the course of the last month and a half. What do we take from them, and do we think they have a shot in hell against the Chiefs? We don't have to pick the games. Obviously, we're going to do that on Thursday. But what do you see from them coming out of this game? Do you think they're going to have a little bit more confidence going to Arrowhead, or do you think this is going to be like kind of a blowout?
I don't know what I haven't given much thought to that question there, Dusty, but of course they have a chance. I mean, they're still professional athletes. They got a lot of good talent on that team. But a rested Chiefs team. Now, the only thing I can think of is if the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs haven't played a meaningful game in like 25 days.
Yeah.
So that's a little scary for me if I'm a Chiefs fan. And it's not like the Chiefs were world beaters this year. So
they're finding their stride at the end, though.
It would be scary for me if it wasn't the Chiefs. It's not like they haven't been here before. They're the number 1 seed almost every year. They're always resting their players at the end of the year. So I do agree with you. If this was like the Ravens and they hadn't been there in a while, and we saw that when the Ravens played the Titans, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and we came out and we just got beat because we were super off in the first half, and then we got it together. I think because they're the Chiefs, because they have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, those guys are going to be ready. They're going to be locked in. And I mean, I'll bury the lead for Thursday. I think Kansas City's just going to rule Houston. But anyway, I mean, Houston, good for them. They look better than I thought they would, and they took advantage of the turnovers that they were able to get.
What's the line on the game? The early line?
It's 8.5. It opened at 7.5. It's around 8.5 somewhere.
I'm going to take the Texans.
Kind of moving around.
So, I mean, I know we got another podcast coming up later this week, but I'm going to take the Texans with that number.
Yeah, and you'll change your mind 3 times before Thursday, I'm sure.
Well, no, because whatever you take, I'm going to take the opposite because you're definitely going to absolutely lose every bet you make between now and the end of next week.
Well, that's not very nice.
Don't
anyway, second game of Saturday was the game that we were all locked in on, all interested in this weekend, and that was the Ravens-Steelers game, and it was a fucking smoke show we demolished them on the ground from beginning to end. We had a drive where we had 12 or 13 plays where we didn't throw the ball one time, which I love. I'm so in on that after the playoffs last year. Derrick Henry looked amazing. Lamar looked amazing, especially with his legs in the first half. And the defense came up big. Brooks, let's let you go. What did you take away from this game? Take it any way you want. You can talk about the Steelers-Ravens.
Fuck, man. Honestly, everything kind of worked out as good as you would want it to go. Especially since nice.
God.
Were they selling those?
Why did you let that in your house? Can you go put that on like under your front floor mat or something?
Well, look, I'm going to get this out of the way now before Brooks goes on his tangent. I got last minute tickets to the Jimmy Seafood VIP tailgate. I was supposed to go to Delaware Dave's tailgate. I didn't know the Ravens won until the next morning at 10 a.m. I don't remember getting home. So apparently I also bought this lovely collector's item. For what reason, I have no fucking idea.
Probably to burn it.
So yeah, it was a great time. Great game. Great game.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a rough night too. We do car bombs for touchdowns sometimes, and the first Derrick Henry car bomb kind of knocked me out. The Rashad Bateman one got me where I was going, and then I was already there, and I didn't need to do that Derrick Henry car bomb.
And hey, I want to give credit to Steelers fans, by the way. You know, I know it's a rivalry. It's a big time rivalry, but I mean, they were respectful. They were cool. They were a lot of fun. I mean, I didn't run into a bad Steelers fan as long as I can remember. And so I want to give just credit to those guys. I mean, they were male and female because it was really cool. You can tell there's a mutual respect between the two cities.
Yeah. I think for a while it wasn't that way, though. I felt like growing up it was a lot more hostile than it is now. I think there's a lot more respect among the two organizations and a lot less hatred. Obviously, I'd still love Roquan going after Patrick Queen in the post-game presser. I do love all that.
What do you say?
I missed this, Dusty. Can you fill this in?
He basically just called out Patrick Queen. He said Patrick Queen's over there doing something. He said he said they were talking before the game, and he said he got a new shirt or something like that. And he was like, I guess he's going to wear that new shirt to Cancun or something like that. I don't know. It was something to that effect. I can't remember the quote exactly, but I love that Roquan's having fun with Patrick Queen, who obviously left the Ravens and is now on the Steelers. Yeah, I mean, it was perfect. It was a perfect storm, perfect game for the Ravens early. They controlled the game early. Russell Wilson did hit a couple of those sideline deep balls to Pickens, which we kind of knew was going to happen before the game started. But I mean, in order for them to have any semblance of a chance against our team, they would have needed to hit that play like 100 times. I just didn't think that they had any chance to move the ball. Najee Harris was their leading rusher with 17 rushing yards. That's not good. And that's honestly, that makes me really bullish on the Ravens moving forward, especially against the Bills. We know how the Bills tried to win that game yesterday, and it was a lot of ground. It was a lot of James Cook. He ran the ball, I think, 20 times in the first 3 quarters of that game.
Yeah, they basically stole what we did against them.
Yeah. And I don't blame them. I think that's the best way to go about it. And they dominated the game after that opening touchdown. And we'll talk about that game next. But I just thought it was super efficient. I thought Lamar was good. He didn't have to do a ton with his arm, but when he was asked to, he was good. I thought that we were going to miss Zay Flowers a little bit more. And honestly, we didn't. It didn't really matter because we were so successful running the ball. I just loved it. I thought it was a great team win for the Ravens, and I have all the confidence in the world moving forward. And I think this game next week is going to be fucking awesome. I know everyone's looking forward to it. It's the matchup of the two guys that everyone's arguing about the MVP. Brian, what do you have to say? You look like you're itching.
No. Well, I am itchy. I'm just dry in general. But that being said, I mean, I don't want to hear any bitching, moaning, whining from anybody about this game. I mean, we dominated the game and we got out basically unscathed in terms of injuries. Yeah. And you're most likely going to have Zay Flowers back for this game coming up on Sunday at 6:30, I believe, is the game time.
Correct.
So there's if you have a negative, you're just a nitpicker. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to nitpick anything, you're going to nitpick just those couple deep balls, but that's really about it, right? I mean, the defense the rest of the day was great. If you want to nitpick the offense, where they were kind of stale in the fourth quarter, last quarter and a half, or whatever it was, fine, whatever. Other than that, they were amazing. Derrick Henry still can't be stopped. I mean, we were literally watching their defensive line. They pretty much flipped what they did last time. They were like, all right, now we're not going to let Derrick Henry beat us. And it got to the point where Lamar was running the read option and he had to take it. It's not like he wanted to run the ball that many times, but he was like, okay, if you're going to keep giving me this, crashing on Derrick Henry, I'm going to take my 6 to 15 yards, depending on what it is, every single time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's what I feel bad for defenses, because that's, as long as he reads it correctly, they can do that every single time.
It's unstoppable with those two guys. It's unstoppable. We talked about it before we signed.
It really just comes down to, like, if you read it, if he's seeing it and reading it correctly. That's really what it comes down to.
I forget when the quarter was. I rewatched the game, but that Lamar play where he goes back, steps up, and goes back again, and hits
Justice Hill. It was like 2 seconds left in the first half.
I was getting nervous.
Defend that? How do you defend that,
dude? He dropped back for that ball or for that pass, and I was like, all right, this has got to be a quick throw to the end zone, so we have time, like, to either score or maybe go for it again or kick the ball. And he's running around. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna get sacked and the time's gonna run out. I don't think we didn't have a timeout left.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
So and when he threw it to Justice Hill, who was like 5 yards in front of the end zone, I was like, oh shit, no. I hope nobody's there. And luckily he just walked in. I was like, dude, if he gets tackled on the one like Kevin Dyson, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Oh man.
Sorry to any Tennessee fans there. Steelers have lost their 6th consecutive postseason matchup. Prior to this stretch, they had never lost more than 3 in a row. Only Marvin Lewis now holds a longer losing streak in the playoffs over Mike Tomlin. Marvin Lewis had 7 consecutive playoff losses with the Bengals at some point. Mike Tomlin joins Marty Schottenheimer, Jim Mora Sr., and Steve Owen as the only coaches to lose 6 straight playoff games. 28 coaches have won a playoff game since Mike Tomlin has last won a playoff game. For the Pittsburgh Steelers fans who are out there, and I've seen a ton of them on the internet who want you to fire Mike Tomlin, I want to remind you that you guys spent $3 million total on your quarterbacks this year, and that they still won 10 games somehow. I don't know what your problem with Mike Tomlin is. If you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I know you're tired of mediocrity, but you haven't had a good quarterback since fucking Ben Roethlisberger was 5 years before he retired. What is he supposed to do? He's winning 10 games with these shit quarterbacks every year. I don't know why the hate goes on Tomlin. It's you go on the organization.
You can't give up 299 yards rushing. That's on the entire staff. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, and I understand what you're saying with the quarterback stuff because you're 100% correct. But I mean, at some point or another, there's got to be some sort of change. I mean, get rid of the D coordinator. Is Arthur Smith really worth it as the offensive coordinator? I don't know. Like you said, the quarterback situation is what it is. Kirk D. Cousins come on down, or Aaron Rodgers.
Or the Brockett ship.
Yeah, the Brockett ship. Yeah.
San Francisco.
But I mean, you can't give up 300 yards rushing. I mean, that's unacceptable for any team. I'd be furious if the Ravens gave up 300 yards.
Yeah, I mean, and it was pretty easy, right? I mean, they knew it was coming. I just think the only thing, the best comparison I can make right now is like, maybe is this like an Andy Reid Philly situation? Like, I could, if they let him, do they need a change? Like, does he need a change? I could see him, like, if this does happen for whatever reason, if they fire him, if he decides to step away, I don't know what his contract looks like. If this is like,
I think they would have to trade him.
Is he? Yeah, I think they do because I think he's got a couple years left. I remember somebody saying that.
It's
like, is this like where he's going to go? He's going to go somewhere else and end up winning 2 or 3 Super Bowls.
Trade him to Dallas, and then Dallas gets good. I would love it.
If for whatever reason they fired him, all right, dominoes would start falling all over the NFL. People firing their coaches who haven't been fired yet. Like Brian Daboll will probably see you later in the Giants.
28 teams will line up.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's no shot. I don't think there's any shot he gets fired. Does he get moved somehow or traded? It's possible for sure. But this guy has been too good for too long. And I don't know. I mean, I just don't know what he wants. But I know for sure that the Steelers are stuck in limbo. They're going to get that 17th overall pick, and then they're going to try to find a quarterback there, or they're going to try to find one in free agency, or they're just going to manufacture the shit out of the position, which is what they've been doing for the last 8 years. I don't get it. I think their front office needs to be scorned more than it has. And obviously they do a good job putting the talent around the quarterback, even if it's a lackluster quarterback. But at some point, you need a good quarterback to win in this league. And we found that out several times. And that Nick Foles situation that happened in Philly, that's never going to happen again. And also Nick Foles played really well. So that was just not you're just not going to win a Super Bowl with a lackluster quarterback in the league that it is now, especially in the AFC with Josh Allen, with Patrick Mahomes, with Lamar. You just can't hang with those guys. I just don't think you can. Anyway, I mean, excited for the Ravens. Steelers season, I give them I guess I give them a B, C or B. I don't know. I think if you're a Steeler fan, you probably give them an F because you're sick of losing the first round of the playoffs. Drew Aller should be available. Then Drew Aller is going back to Penn State. You have to watch him suck again for one more year. You don't have to worry about that.
Unless they go pay somebody.
We didn't talk about college at all. We got to talk about that. We will at the end. Yeah,
we will.
Next game was Buffalo Denver, and this is where I'm going to take.
Oh, here we go.
You guys go ahead and talk about this game if you want to, and then I'll go at the end.
I mean, did we really? Okay. We made this bet knowing like this was a long shot, obviously. But that first touchdown that Bo Nix threw, I was like, uh-oh.
My pants popped off when it happened, and then I talked way too early.
Yeah. I mean,
I love the zeros in the second, third, and fourth quarter after that 7 in the first.
I know. I didn't expect them to be that bad offensively against the Bills defense, but I also didn't expect Josh Allen to put up 31 points on Denver's defense, but I don't think they had a chance, to be honest with you, because they were on the field so much. They had to be exhausted. The time of possession was crazy.
41 minutes.
Yeah, it was crazy. 40 minutes. Yeah.
It's nuts.
Fucking nuts. Yeah. I think they did it. The Buffalo did exactly what they needed to do in keeping Denver's defense on the field. That's the strength of their team, and keeping the offense off the field. And honestly, I know I talked a lot of shit about Bo Nix on this podcast, and I went on an apology tour. I don't think Bo Nix really played all that bad. I think that his receivers kind of dropped a couple balls early in the game that kind of killed drives for them. I thought he was relatively accurate throughout the game. I don't know how they only ended up with 7 points. I kind of felt like they were moving the ball all right.
Missed at least one field goal, maybe two.
Yeah, they clanked the one it was a real loud clank too. At the end of the half,
that was
upright square.
Real disrespectful. Real disrespectful by that upright.
Yeah.
Have you seen more fucking doinks in a season than we saw? I mean, oh my goodness.
The doink last night to win the game. That was sweet. What? Zane Gonzalez looked like he wanted to die going to kick that ball. I don't know if you guys saw, there's a video of him going onto the field and the camera's just looking at him for like 45 seconds. And he takes his helmet off to fix his hair probably 15 times in 40 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
He was freaking out, dude.
I could watch his hair grow on live television.
But yeah, I mean, look, I think Buffalo rolled. I think the Bills roster is constructed in such a way where Josh Allen needs to be the hero a lot, but he's good enough to do it, so it doesn't matter. And I also think that, like Brian said earlier in the year, and like a lot of people have said, addition by subtraction, getting Stephon Diggs out of there, getting that guy out of there that's going to be pissed off if he doesn't get the ball all the time. Shakir, Coleman, Cooper, they don't give a shit when they get the ball or if they get the ball. I don't think Amari Cooper caught 3 passes yesterday. He doesn't give a shit. They won.
No.
He's going on. I think it was a really good move for them. Brian, what do you got?
Which team should feel better about their performance, the Ravens or the Bills? It's a question for you guys.
The Ravens, I think. I don't know. They were pretty similar. They were pretty similar really performances.
Good. Both really good, and honestly, it's gonna be a fucking classic next week. I'm gonna say it multiple times, but
yeah, it's gonna be
super pumped, and I love the time slot. I love that we're getting the Sunday 6:30 game. I really do.
You like that?
I've been enjoying the Saturday games, to be honest with you. We got all day Sunday to hang out. Yeah.
Well, I love it from a business perspective. And Dusty, I don't know if you work on Sundays or not. Yeah, you do.
I don't.
Oh, all right.
I'm off on, so that's my day off.
Okay. Well, I mean, what it does is now it leads to, from a bar perspective, it leads to people getting absolutely trounced wasted. But the number looks really nice at the end of the day for the establishment, because people start coming in at noon just to getting lacquered up.
You guys think the running back had control of the ball here from what British Raven was saying?
I don't think he did.
Throw to the running back. He was out of bed. What are you talking about? Ty Johnson? He a Terp. We can't talk shit about him. He a Terp. No, that was a ball. That was a 4th and 1 that Allen flung into the end zone to the back. Right? Is that what you're talking about?
That was ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he had possession of the ball, but his knee was definitely, when the ball was in his hands, his knee was definitely down in bounds and his foot was still in the air. So I don't think he was out of bounds, but also they called it a catch on the field. I don't think it was enough to overturn it either. It was kind of a play stance is called.
I think he probably did catch it, but I'm with you, Dusty. I think that even if it wasn't, I just don't think there was enough there to overturn it. But that play was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that play was ridiculous. And at that point, Buffalo had not taken control of the game yet, and I had quite a bit of money, as you guys know, on Buffalo. And also just rights to just a lot of people would have given me a lot of shit on this podcast because I kind of put myself out there last week. So I really wanted Buffalo to win this game going away, and they did. For the Broncos, they had $90 million in dead cap this year, which is like 2/5 of their cap room, and they still made the playoffs with a rookie quarterback. I think this is an absolute win of a season for them. Yeah. I think their defense showed that they're one of the elite defenses in the league. Obviously, they went up against a team that they were just totally outclassed with yesterday. But I think they can improve, and once they get some more of that money off the Russell Wilson boat and onto their rest of their roster boat, I think they're gonna be able to start competing a little bit more consistently if Bo Nix can continue to improve. But Bo Nix is probably about the same age as Joe Burrow because he was in college for 40 years. So I don't know if Bo Nix is going to improve. I don't know if he's going to get better. Maybe we are seeing prime
24.
Yeah, 24. He's a rookie. I mean, we watched Drake May all year. He's 20, 21. You know what I mean? We watched Lamar do this for the last 7 years. He just turned 28.
I don't care.
I just feel like he's got a lot of experience, and I don't know how much room there is to grow for Bo Nix.
I mean, as long as Sean Payton loves him, I've got belief that he's going to keep getting better because Sean Payton I give them an A plus this year for the job that he did to get them, first of all, get them to the playoffs and play the way that they did after the start that they had. They were 2-6 or something like that.
Yeah.
And with the cap situation that they're in, it was, I think that he did just about everything he could this year. I mean, it was just a phenomenal coaching job by that whole staff and that team to perform the way that they did with all the hamstrings that they have at this point.
Yeah. But self-inflicted wounds. So I'm not going to, but great job.
Sure. By not by Sean Payton. Well, no, not by Sean Payton. He wasn't there when they signed that deal. So
that's true. He was signed afterwards. Anyway, I mean, look, I agree with you. I think the Broncos had a win of a season. If you're a Broncos fan, I'd come away from the season happy. You have a quarterback who's probably one of the, five top offensive rookie of the year candidates. And you had $100 million almost tied up in a couple of guys that aren't on the team anymore. Yeah. So, for the Bills, I think great job. They did their job. They rolled, and now they got to face this hot ass Ravens team. And it's going to be super fun to watch. I know everyone is super excited about it.
I haven't looked at any lines. What do we got?
Pigtown said that the line it opened at 1 or 1.5.
It was Bills minus 1.5 to open.
And now it's down to a half a point. Pigtown's.
I'm pulling up DraftKings right now.
Hey guys, I'm literally stepping outside to hand a plumber keys to the establishment. I'll be right back.
Got it.
Good luck.
Line is line is now Baltimore minus 1.5.
Oh boy.
Oh, interesting.
That's moved quite a bit already.
I took Baltimore money line the minute the line came out, so we're good on that. Anyway, next game, Eagles, Green Bay Packers, and it's okay. Joe Radke, does Deshaun Watson play football again? I don't know. He apparently re-injured his Achilles and has surgery and is going to miss all of next year. Yeah, so he has torn his Achilles now twice in the last couple months. He's already had a major knee injury before where he tore his ACL, I believe. He's going to be coming back from a whole lot of shit. And honestly, Cleveland kind of already wants him out. I know the coach doesn't like him. We saw that. And I know Brooks had thoughts on that. But have we seen the last of Deshaun Watson? Honestly, maybe.
I think Cleveland. Yeah, I think so.
Bad Justin Herbert. That's funny.
I think the Browns' best case scenario at this time is just cut ties and be done with it. Like same thing that Denver did with Russell Wilson. Just be done with it. You're gonna have to eat the money. Don't sit there and try to make something out of this, even though because you made a bad business decision. Just put it in your rearview mirror and try again. Yeah.
And get the distraction out of the locker room too. I'm sure the guys in the locker room don't want to hear about this for another 2 years.
Yeah, if you want Jerry Jeudy to stick around, you better figure something out.
Yeah. And honestly, before this season, I would have told you, who cares if Jerry Jeudy sticks around? But that guy was really good this year, and it makes you wonder. Oh, maybe quarterbacks do matter for development of wide receivers. Anyway, Philadelphia Eagles beat the Green Bay Packers 22-10. Honestly, I thought especially after the first quarter, that this game was going to get real ugly. Green Bay kind of hung in there despite the fact that everyone on their team decided they wanted to get injured in this game. It looked like Jaden Reed separated his shoulder in the middle of the game. Romeo Doubs left with a head injury. That was pretty nasty, that fall in the end zone. Obviously, they lost Christian Watson before this game. They lost their starting center at some point in this game. Jordan Love was playing with a quote-unquote funny bone injury, which I've never heard in my life until yesterday.
What? That's your UCL.
Yeah, I know. That's nobody's ever said that's a funny bone injury. When Felix Batista tore his UCL, did they say tore his funny bone? Never heard one person say that. But anyway, I didn't think the Eagles looked like world beaters in this game. I thought that they were going to be able to move the ball more. And honestly, I don't understand why they can't move the ball more. With Jalen Hurts with the ability that Jalen Hurts has with his legs, with Saquon Barkley, who's the most explosive running back in the league we've seen, and A.J. Brown, who's a top-flight receiver, Devontae Smith, who's a top-flight receiver, John Dotson, former first rounder. Dallas Goedert was making crazy plays yesterday, throwing people off of him. I don't know how this offense isn't more efficient, and I will go back to what I said at the beginning of the season. I do not think Kellen Moore deserved to get this job. I don't think he's a good offensive coordinator. I think he was bad in Dallas. I think he held them back. I think he was bad in San Diego with the Chargers. I think he held them back. And I think he's doing the same thing here with Philly. I do not get that move. I do like Vic Fangio, the D coordinator, but I don't understand Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Eagles. I don't like it. I don't think their offense is efficient enough. I think they should have won this game by a lot based on how the game went.
I agree. 100% agree. There's no reason why they shouldn't have won this game like 31-10 at least, or even more.
What game we on?
We're on
Eagles Packers. We're just
Eagles Packers
closer than it should have been.
Yeah, 22-10. It felt like this game was never not in Philly's control. It felt like or I guess it should say Philly let them hang around for way too long.
Yeah.
Because Green Bay didn't do shit. And I mean, if I'm Philly, just why do they get away from? I mean, just keep handing the ball to Saquon, man. I don't know. And maybe this was a product of Jalen Hurts hasn't played in a couple weeks and knocking off the rust a little bit and comes out next week and just tears it up. We'll see. And I mean, they did rest their starters last week as well. So this could be a little bit of rust, but yeah, I thought this game should have been more of a blowout than it was based on the way it was performed.
Interesting fact about Green Bay's season. They lost 7 games this year total between the playoffs and the regular season. If you just take out that last week against the Bears where Jordan Love got hurt, they lost 6 games this year. All 6 were to Minnesota, Detroit, and Philly, who in my opinion are the 3
Jesus.
in the NFC. They lost to Philly twice between the playoffs and the regular season, and they lost both of their matchups to Minnesota and both of their matchups to Detroit.
So they can't be good teams?
When they played the class of the NFC, they did not win. They did not compete.
Pretty damning.
I think if you're going to give Green Bay a grade this year based on how people expected them to go, their season to go, I'd give them like a D. I don't think Jordan Love played good at all this year. I thought that people were expecting him to take off after he got paid. I don't love that their receivers. I don't love that there's not a clear number 1 guy in their receiving core. I don't love that Luke Musgrave has completely disappeared from the offense. I did like Josh Jacobs. I did like some of the stuff they did on defense. And I do like Matt LaFleur as a coach, handling those couple games without Jordan Love early in the season and still getting W's with Malik Willis, who hadn't hardly even been there. So I do trust the organization, but I think this was a bad year for Green Bay. I didn't think they had a great year. What do you guys think?
Well, I don't disagree with anything you said, but Green Bay reminds me a lot of the Ravens, a lot of like the Steelers. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out to turn it around and right the ship. So
I do.
It's not like they had a terrible season.
No, they made the playoffs.
And one of the and again in one of the hardest divisions.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, Brian. I think they do figure it out, but I think for expectation wise, I think they underperformed. So I give them a C-. It's hard you can't give them a D if they make the playoffs, especially when we look back and that division was so tough. So, I mean, I'll give them a C- based on expectations. I think everyone was expecting them to win that division. Them are the Lions. They thought it was going to come down to a rock fight with them and the Lions.
And no one thought Minnesota was going to be good, and everyone thought the Bears were going to be at least decent. Antonio asks, good Ravens win against the Steelers. What adjustments do you think the Bills will make after their Week 4 loss to the Ravens? Honestly, I don't really know what the Bills' game plan is going to be because their game plan yesterday is not going to work against the Ravens. It's going to be ground and pound, control the ball. And we saw this Ravens defense is very equipped to stop the run. And even when we were bad eroearlier in the season as a defense, we were always good at stopping the run. And now we're doing a better job of stopping the pass as well. We're more well-rounded on defense. I don't know what the Bills' plan is. I think their plan most of the season is just let Josh Allen be Superman. And it's been good enough because he has been Superman for most of the season. But it's going to be, I don't know. I think it's going to be a freaking shootout.
I don't. I really don't. I just don't think there's a ton there for Josh Allen to throw. I'm more nervous about his tight ends. if they can run the ball a little bit, which I don't think they will be, I think the key, let me put it this way. For the Ravens to win, I think their keys are stop the run, stop James Cook, and do not let the tight ends beat you. I just don't see the wide receivers being good enough. I mean, I know Amari Cooper's there. I know Shakir and all the stats they put up this year, but I mean, honestly, I'm not that impressed by them. So I think our DBs have gotten so much better now that they're not even going to be an issue.
So I could be wrong. We're going to have to put like basically a permanent spy on Josh Allen. Do you think Roquan or Kyle Hamilton's going to be kind of shadowing Josh Allen around the field, because he can do a lot of damage with his legs, and I assume he's going to be using them a lot against us.
Yeah, and when Denver beat them earlier this year, they were talking about it during the game. They set up everybody on the left side. Like if you're looking at on the defensive side of the ball, I guess if you're Josh Allen looking out, let's do it that way. They sent everybody on the right side of the line. They basically sent their whole blitz over there and then put their best pass rusher on the left and flushed him and didn't want him to go right to throw the ball. Obviously, he can throw the ball on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have a nice tight end, Joe.
Brooks.
Cosmo
Kramer, proctology.
I don't think is a terrible thing to try, but yeah, Dustin, either they're going to be doing that or they're going to be spying him with somebody just to keep him from. I mean, he's going to run one way or the other to extend a play. If he gets outside the pocket, hopefully we can keep him inside of there. Or
is this my Wi-Fi or is Brooks's shit screwed up?
I think it's your Wi-Fi. He sounds good to me.
Do I sound good or am I just delayed? Nah, whatever. But yeah, I think they're either going to be doing that or I think they're going to be spying, like you said, just so it's like, all right, you can run out. If you get outside, you can run out there and try to make a play, but we're not going to let you run upfield. So
yeah. I think the Broncos did a decent job on defense at the beginning of the game, keeping them in the pocket. They were talking about that a ton on the broadcast yesterday, keeping Josh Allen in the tackle box and not letting him get out because he's so dangerous when he gets out because his numbers, numbers outside of the pocket are just as good. What's the breaking news? What do we got? Mike McCarthy is not expected to return to Dallas and is now set to become a free agent. Okay, he's a free agent head coach. So do we think he gets a job right away? What's going on?
Brian, you just missed it.
Mike McCarthy will not be back as Dallas's coach.
Yeah, I saw that on my phone.
So yeah, he's expected to be a candidate in Chicago and New Orleans. I would love if he got hired in Chicago. It'd be hilarious.
If I can respond to Antonio's question, because I know Brooks was going on for a minute there, and my Wi-Fi was just being foolish. I could see them throwing the ball into the. I can see them throwing the ball in the flat a lot, giving it out the woods in the flat, see if they can like outflank us, stuff like that. I could see that adjustment being made because trying to run the ball up the middle is going to be very, very difficult with Madubuike and Michael Pierce and all that man meat. That's right there.
Robert Woods.
Who's their damn running back?
Cook.
James Cook.
James Cook. Sorry,
little brother of Dalvin.
My bad. James Cook.
Let Dalvin cook. Okay, so we jumped around a little bit, but we were talking about Eagles Packers. Yeah, I mean, we pretty much covered that game. Eagles are going to face the winner of tonight's game, which is the Rams and the Vikings. And I'm interested in that game. I'll be at work watching it, but I like the Vikings. You guys have we've all given our picks on that. So if you guys missed that, check out our pod from last week. Brooks actually tallied all of our picks for the year, by the way. And he's going to give that information to us maybe today or Thursday, whenever. We're going to get our snake draft information locked down this week too, so we know everyone's scores and everything, and we're just going to keep track of that moving forward. Which we should have been doing from the beginning, but we're stupid idiots and we didn't. Anyway,
no one can fault us for that. We tell people in advance that we're knuckleheads. So,
last game of the day yesterday was a really exciting game. Thought it was going to be higher scoring than it ended up being, but the second half especially was really interesting. Yeah. Washington defeats the Bucs 23-20 as they doink it through the uprights. Zane Gonzalez fixing his hair 50 times in 10 minutes. Jaden Daniels, we've seen it. I've said it before the game happened. We've seen it a million times. He always, for some reason, has the ball either down a score or tied with less than 3 minutes left, and he always takes them down the field and wins the game. And I just never had this much confidence in a rookie quarterback to just roll down the field and do whatever he wants on offense when the game is on the line. I watched so many quarterbacks play for the Ravens in my life, and I watched Joe Flacco for so long, and I never had as much confidence in Joe Flacco going down the field like this than I had in Jaden Daniels, and he's a rookie.
I mean,
we're comparing different players, but
he's got big old balls.
He's been excellent.
He's got big old balls.
Is this the best rookie quarterback performance you can remember?
No, Stroud's was more impressive, I think. Well, Stroud didn't have the game-winning drives, right? I think Stroud had better stats.
I think Daniels has elevated this team more than Stroud did to the Texans last year, and that's saying something because Stroud was excellent.
And he came into a shit situation too.
Yeah, he did. And the only other rookie quarterback I can remember that did something like this was Cam Newton when he came in.
Yeah, that's a good call. I didn't even think about that. I mean, there's been some good rookie quarterbacks, but usually you see like the high interception numbers or like he's so good at controlling the game in every facet of it. And I know it sounds like I'm jerking him off right now, but I kind of am. He's been great. Scary Terry looked really good in this game. Zach Ertz, he's 800 years old. I don't know how he's still effective, but good for him for his career resurgence. What do we think this means? Where do we think this leads Tampa Bay? Sorry, go ahead, bro.
No, you know what I really like about this win for the Commanders, and I can't believe I'm saying this because Sean Foy is probably taking his pants off as I'm about to say this. How they handled the win. It's like they expected to win, and they're not celebrating, smoking cigars. They want to win the next. Obviously, everyone wants to win the next week, but they're not taking this for granted. They are just like, all right, on to the next one. Let's rock and roll. And I got that feeling specifically listening to Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I love that they expect to win. I love that they're going business as usual. Obviously, we know they are going to Detroit next week, and that's going to be a tough ass game. So if they expect to win that game, good on them. I think they can hang with Detroit a little bit, especially with Detroit, all their problems on defense, but that's going to be a real tough game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like if Washington gets the ball down 3 or down 7 at the end of the game, I just feel like they have a chance to go down and score. It just feels like they do it every single week.
There's another. This is the NFC version of the Chargers for me for next year. All right, whatever happens to them this year, they're still in the playoffs, still got a chance, but they're scary.
Well, he's done it 6 times this year. How many times?
By the way, this is a major FU to Dan Snyder. Like how they immediately turned the culture around right away.
I love it. I love it.
Tells the team, they get new guys in there, and immediately they're good. I love it. What do we think this leaves Tampa? They have some major question marks going next year. I believe Chris Godwin's a free agent, also coming off of that major injury. I don't know where that leaves him. McMillan was good for them down the stretch, but was kind of absent yesterday. Mike Evans did basically everything for their offense yesterday. Bucky Irving, obviously, they found lightning in a bottle there. I think they need to rework the defense. Vita Vea is not getting any younger, and it seems like they have some problems there. But, I mean, they've won 4 straight division championships. They've won a Super Bowl in the last 5 years. I mean, this Tampa Bucks team has really been doing good for a while. Do we think that they're just going to continue that trend? They're
going to be relevant because they play in a shit division. And, I mean, I think they have a little bit of cap room there coming up. They can revamp this thing. And Baker Mayfield is on a very team-friendly deal. I mean, this is what a mediocre quarterback. And that sounds like I'm slighting him. He's just not a top-tier guy. This allows the team to have financial flexibility to continue to build a team around Baker Mayfield. Yeah,
he's not a top 5 quarterback, and he's borderline around probably somewhere in the top 12. If I had, I haven't sat down and done it, but he's probably hanging around just above average. And that's good enough. I mean, but he's not getting paid $50 million to be just above average like some other quarterbacks in the league are. So, yeah, I do agree with you. It's a team-friendly deal. Losing Godwin, hurt them obviously all season. And I don't know if they're going to want to re-sign him because he's going to be expensive. He's coming off an injury. He's getting a little older. We'll see how that ends up playing out. But I think this was a win of a season for Tampa. I think this game could have gone either way. And it sucks for them that they weren't able to pull this one off. But
didn't Washington and Tampa play earlier this year? I feel like
the first game of the year when we were at Outer Banks watching.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, shit.
But Tampa beat them.
Tampa
right?
beat them. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Tampa beat them. But Daniels threw the ball like less than 20 times in that game. Like they had not taken the gloves off yet for Daniels. They were kind of they were treating him like a rookie, which is fine.
Yeah,
rookie quarterback.
Yeah, it's a rookie quarterback. That's what you do. Anyway, I mean that's all the games so far. We have the game tonight that will determine the last spot. Last matchup for next week. I don't know why I had trouble getting that out. Anyway, the week next week's schedule is Texans at Chiefs at 4:30 on Saturday, and then the 8:00 game on Fox that night is going to be Commanders Lions. We're going to have Tom Brady on that call, I would imagine. The NBC game on Sunday, the early game is at 3 p.m. That's going to be the Eagles hosting the winner of tonight's game, either the Vikings or the Rams, and then at 6:30 on CBS. Next Sunday night is going to be Ravens going to Buffalo. And hopefully there's no weather in that game. Hopefully
that's what I was going to ask. Weather.
I don't know. I just don't know. I know it's going to be cold because it's Buffalo. I know I have a lot of friends that are trying to get tickets and they're going up there. I think tickets are somewhere around $200. They're relatively affordable. I thought they were going to be a lot more expensive based on the matchup. But anyway, I'm not going to be going up there because I got to work on Monday and it's going to be a complete nightmare. Don't forget the Evans-Lattimore matchup. Yeah, you're right, Austin. I didn't even think about that. That's been a show for years and years between the Bucs and the Saints. Now, Lattimore was matched up on him last night. They got into it. I know that Lattimore got called for a PI in the end zone and Bucky Irving ended up punching it in. So I think Evans actually got the better of him last night.
7 for 92 and a touchdown, I'd say.
If I had to score it. But
Lattimore's been hurt though.
You guys want to talk quickly about the college games? Ohio State wins, Notre Dame wins. Chris, I don't know if you're still listening. I'm sorry that your stupid team lost, but it's gonna be okay. I had the under in this game, and there were 21 total points in the. There were 21 total points in the game going into the fourth quarter. The over-under was like 45.5. I thought it was a lock, and then 31 points get scored in the fourth quarter. Complete nightmare for under bettors. And I'm not going to complain about gambling losses because I had a great weekend. But that was crazy. We've watched so much football since then. I hardly even remember that game. What did you guys take away from it? Do you have any thoughts on either Ohio State, Notre Dame? Do you have thoughts on the matchup? I know the line is over 8 or something like that. I think the line's like
I think it was 8.5. It opened at 8.5. Look, this isn't a slight of Chris Merrick and Penn State. James Franklin just buckles when he plays big time teams. It's factual. I mean, he's 3-11 against top 10 teams when they are ranked in the top 10 as well.
I mean, he's got tight butthole, you know.
Yeah.
Butthole puckers up, as our old JV coach used to say.
His best wins in the last 5-10 years of coaching Penn State were against SMU and Boise State in these playoffs, which is not saying much.
No.
So, I mean, whatever. They had a great season. They went a lot further than I thought they should have. I thought they got the lucky side of the bracket. But as far as the matchup of the teams that are still in it, I think Ohio State's going to win this game. I think they're the best team. I like Notre Dame's defense, but I don't like the quarterback, Riley Leonard. I didn't think he's very good. And he also went to Duke. So, he was never going to be good. He transferred from Duke, so he was never going to be good. I do love, though, that Brian Kelly has left, and they're immediately in the national championship 2 years later. I'm a huge fan of that because I can't stand that guy, and I love it.
Well, not only that, when he left, he made it a point to say he was leaving to go to LSU so he could compete for championships, and now LSU just has been meh. And now
they had Jaden Daniels, Brian Thomas, and Malik Neighbors, and they lost 3 games. How does that happen?
How does LSU not have 10 national championships? I'm sorry.
Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors both put up 1,000 yards as rookies this year with nobody throwing them.
They had Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson on the same freaking team.
Coach O. They won that.
They won that one at least.
And Randy Moss's kid had like 12 touchdowns that year too. Oh man. Anyway,
but I am really intrigued by the national championship game. I am really intrigued by the Notre Dame secondary versus the stud wide receivers for Ohio State. That's the matchup I'm going to watch the entire time.
Yeah, give me Ohio State. Give me Ohio State for 2 touchdowns.
Have you ever heard of a stat line where a team's wide receivers do not have a catch? That's what happened in Notre Dame.
Did you see that, Brooks? No wide receiver.
Look who was throwing the ball though.
It's the guy who was going to be a first-round pick if he would have come out of the draft this year. That's why I'm talking about this guy stinks. What? Don't take him in the first round. He stinks. Anyway,
I've got more faith in Trace McSorley than I do this guy.
Get out of here.
How about Carson Beck deciding he doesn't want to go to the draft and he transferred into Miami to hang out with his girlfriend, who's one of the twins on Miami's basketball team, who are librarians.
No, but I think I saw. I don't know if this is true or not. I think I saw he's getting like $4 million. $4 million, which is going to be, I think, a new record.
More than he would make as probably in his first 2 years as like a second or third round pick.
He's going to be making more than like 8 quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's a record. Maybe there might be somebody else who made a little bit more than him. But you're going to see an all-out mad dash here between now and April 8th when the new verdict comes out, basically giving a salary cap for college athletics and NIL stuff. So you're going to see everybody trying to sign before that time.
Dusty, go ahead. Then I just want Brooks to expound on that because I don't really know too much about this.
Just a quick point. Carson Beck's getting $4 million to transfer to Miami. The Pittsburgh Steelers paid a total of $3 million to their top 2 quarterbacks this year, and you guys think it was Mike Tomlin's fault. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, Brooks, you go ahead.
Yeah, what's the verdict? I mean, or what's the ruling, and who's doing it? Is it the Supreme Court? Is it?
Yeah, there's some ruling coming down. Basically, it's not just going to be salary cap stuff on NIL, but they're also going to give it, I think, to the schools as well in terms of like, this is your money, spend it how you want. It's not going to be coming through the NCAA anymore. There's going to be a couple different things coming out with it. Obviously, not everybody knows for sure. But there's a couple things that are going to be in play and it's going to be April 8th is when I guess the verdict is going to be read, I guess, if that's the right verbiage. Eligibility stuff. Eligibility stuff, because there's stuff going on right now where they set precedent where basically the Vanderbilt quarterback, and he won this case actually. The Vanderbilt quarterback basically went to the NCAA and pled for another year of eligibility, saying that he wanted to erase his year of eligibility from JUCO, and they sided in his favor, which I don't love, but that's now set a precedent. So I don't know if that's going to be involved in this case or not. So I don't know.
This is a rhetorical question. What the fuck does the NCAA do, actually?
Nothing, dude.
Nothing. And they're out in Indianapolis, for God's sakes, folks. Go over there and bang on the door.
I do. I mean, I do love this new guy that's in there. He seems like he's going to try to do. Seems like he's thinking logically about shit. But in the past, I haven't seen another organization make so many dumb decisions in a row. Like, how can you have that many stupid people in one building to make not have one person speak up and be like, hey, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So
when I hear the term student athlete, I want to throw something at the television.
Yeah.
They're athletes that happen to go to school. That's it.
Yeah. Depends on the program, but yeah.
I don't know, but the NIL shit is just completely throwing everything on its head. And
this verdict's supposed to help with that.
Yeah, so I'm assuming what I'm gathering from what you just said is they're basically going to cap it. Let's call it $20 million, and you get $20 million to give it out to Oh my
This is
God.
I just had to pull this up because our draft later is the it's minor league.
Why would you
logos.
not keep that to yourself?
Mets
You-
Double A affiliate. This is only for certain games, so this is not but Binghamton backed up donkeys for certain games next year. That logo is unbelievable. He's scratching his back with a baseball bat like a
And he's wearing a shower cap.
over his ears. I'm sorry, I had to bring it up. I know I'm cutting you guys off, but I just had to get that on there.
You should have
Bathtub donkeys.
you should have went. I mean, you should have kept that for yourself. I would have given it to you.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I don't. The NIL's turned everything on its head. It's the wild, wild west. I mean, you're seeing teams like SMU and stuff come out. All you need is one billionaire to come out and just dump $500 million into the program, and then
that is a left turn from the right lane. Thank you, Joe Radke. As we transition, anyway, we're
pontificating.
Set our piece. Let's talk about a little bit of baseball, just because we haven't given you guys an update. The Orioles did sign a reliever, Andrew Kittredge. He got a $10 million contract for 1 year, and he's got a $9 million team option for next year as well. So this is essentially a 2-year deal if he's good. He's 34 years old, 5-5 last year with a 2.8 and 1 save with the Cardinals, striking out 67 and walking 20 in 70 innings. He spent the previous 7 seasons with the Rays, so I'm sure you guys have heard this guy's name. He's pitched against us plenty of times. His career ERA is 3.44, 240 relief appearances and 15 starts. This is a guy who's going to be in the relief scenario. He's going to be a 6th or 7th inning kind of guy. And I like the move. I think he was good last year, 2.8 ERA. I think that plays. And he's obviously going to be an upgrade over, whoever the last guy in the pen is as of right now, maybe Brian Baker, or, a guy like that who's kind of been up and down. And then, first I'll get your guys' thoughts on that. And then I also kind of want to talk on this Jeff Hoffman stuff because the Orioles have failed another player on a physical and the deal has fallen through. Classic Orioles.
And this is something I would like if Pigtown wants to make any kind of comments about the physical stuff, because it just seems like we have the toughest physical process in all of sports. Forget just baseball.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he has any kind of background on this stuff because he was in the organization.
Yeah, I don't know. Brooks, what do you think about Kittredge? Before we get into Hoffman, do you like the signing? Are you excited about bolstering the bullpen?
Yeah, how can you not be? There's nothing to be mad about here unless you're sitting here saying like, oh, we need to make a bigger splash and go after an ace. Like we're not going after an ace.
You're not. Yeah. What ace is out there that you're going after?
Exactly.
You got to trade for Cease. You got to
Cease or Castillo, or resign Flaherty to be,
Which for all no. Well, did Flaherty sign?
No, he
didn't.
I can't believe he signed it. He had a great year last year.
Somebody's going to. He's waiting on big money, decent money. But yeah, I like it. There's nothing to not like in this trade. And if people are gonna be like, yeah, but where's the big splash? And the big splash, like you guys said, is it's either going to be Cease, Castillo, or somebody we don't know yet in a trade. It's going to be in a trade. It's going to be for somebody that we either those two or somebody we don't know. Yeah. Or you're going to be mad that we haven't gotten Tanner Scott yet.
That would be awesome.
He's not off the table yet, so we don't know. It's also going to be, does he want to come back here after an organization just gave up on him and let him go? So it's just it's hard to say. Tony. You got Tony Tainers is still a free agent on here.
Scroll to the bottom.
Yeah, I am on the bottom. Oh, never mind.
Oh, so easy guy. It's a layup. That was a layup.
Power bottom. Yeah, I was watching some of Pigtown stuff and everything like that. His slider's nasty. It's really nasty. There is some thought in where he needs to be placing some of these towards lefties. His fastball, it moves, but it moves horizontally. It doesn't have very much depth. But that's not what he's there for. He's going to be breaking off some pretty nasty sliders, and his slider plays really well off of his fastball too. It comes out of the same arm slot. It looks very similar. I think he's going to be pretty. Is he going to be like a closer or like an 8th inning guy? No. but he's gonna be solid there in the middle. I think he's an upgrade. I do. So
yeah, I mean, I think he's surely an upgrade over Brian Baker, who was projected to be on our opening day roster. And I know a lot of people can like Brian Baker, and I think he seems like all accounts seem like he's a nice guy, but he is wildly inconsistent and drives me nuts.
Like he's one of those guys where his stuff is electric as well, but he needs to figure out he misses way too much over the plate.
He seems like a nice guy.
Whatever, Brian. Anyway, Jeff Hoffman signed a 3-year, $33 deal with the Blue Jays.
$33,
nice.
$33 million.
Bargain.
3-year, $33, $11 a year.
Wow.
$33 million.
Pennies.
After the Orioles reportedly agreed to a 3-year, $40 million deal with Hoffman, but we found red flags. Apparently, he had some stuff in his throwing shoulder that the guys didn't like when they were doing the physical. So they backed out of the deal, and then he signs a deal worth $7 million less with the Blue Jays shortly thereafter. Yeah, I mean, we've seen this in the past. I have a MLB Trade Rumors article up. They were talking about some Orioles deals that have been voided in the past because of physicals. Grant Balfour, Tyler Coleman in 2013, Giovanni Gallardo in 2015. So definitely some stuff has happened.
I agree with you guys very wholeheartedly, and I agree with you, British Raven. But does it scare people off from even considering the Orioles? Is my concern.
I mean, if they have an issue that they know about that they're trying to hide, then yeah. The Gallardo one saved us for sure. The Balfour one was because he didn't want to come here. Well, I shouldn't say he didn't want to come here. I read something. His wife ended up stepping in and saying, "I don't want to move to Baltimore." Fine, whatever. So I prefer it.
Excited about that too. That guy was good.
I would have taken him in a fight without a doubt. Him. And
his last name was Balfour.
Balfour?
No, it's Balfour, dude.
Worst name: Kenny Blewett, the kicker, or Grant Balfour.
No, it's Homer Bailey. I think he threw a no-hitter too.
Homer Bailey, yeah.
Homer Bailey.
He did.
That's so good.
Yeah, I don't.
Worst sports names.
I think if you're trying to hide something, it's definitely gonna because if it comes up and then it gets made public, then you're costing yourself money.
I'm letting my cleaning lady in.
Okay.
So and British Raven, I'm with you. I'd rather have a hard one because like we said, it's saved us in the past. So yeah, I don't know. I feel bad because I just read a really cool article on Jeff Hoffman too. Basically, him and I don't know if they came out the same draft class or not. Him and Bryce Harper were drafted really high and right around the same draft or the same draft. He bounced around to 2 different teams, then got picked up by Philly. And then when Harper was doing a rehab start 2 years ago, he went down and they had him throw live against him. And while they were throwing live, and he had like a 9 ERA or something at the time in the minors. While they were throwing live, Harper was like, dude, this guy is legit. And within 2 weeks, they had brought him up. Talking about Jeff Hoffman, how he kind of had a career resurgence after Harper found him. Yeah. Found him in the minors during his rehab. They had him throw live against Harper, and Harper went to the team and advocated hard, like, this guy is really freaking good. And at the time, he had like a 9 ERA again. He was pretty much going to be considered a bust because he was a very high draft pick as well. And I don't know what they said or what Harper said to him, be like, hey, here's why. But ever since then, he's had like a 2-something or 3 ERA and has been a stud and kind of back on track to where he was when he got drafted. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Why do I want to love Bryce Harper so much?
I like him now.
I used to hate him. I love him. I loved him and then I hated him for a while. And now I love him again.
I used to get so pissed off when he would run. His helmet would fly off every fucking time he would try to turn a single into a double.
That's what Gunnar does now. His helmet's always flying off.
He's got a great mustache, though. Great mustache.
All right.
All right.
It is time.
Right turn, left hand lane.
Right. It's time for our snake draft.
Oh, I have my that's a shame.
Okay, let's do our that's a shame because I forgot about mine and I have actually. You go ahead first.
The guy who was stalking Caitlin Clark, Michael Lewis, 55-year-old guy from Denton, Texas, I believe.
Was just reading about this like 2 hours ago. Yeah, he got like he's getting 6 years or something like that.
What the fuck is wrong with people? What is wrong with people?
I didn't hear anything about this. I'm in India.
There was a dude stalking Caitlin Clark. He said he was sending her messages on some social media platform saying he was driving around her house 3 times a day, and he was making like sexually explicit stuff. And he said he was going to buy tickets right behind the bench for the next home game. Caitlin Clark then promptly called the police, and now the guy's being charged. He accepted second-degree stalking charge or something like that. He faces up to 6 years, $10,000 fine or something like that. Anyway, just what a fucking weirdo. I know there was something with Paige Beckers. There was a guy doing this with Paige Beckers a couple years ago, or maybe it was last year. Just it sucks for these women that they have to deal with this bullshit.
They gotta deal with this shit, and it's so unfortunate because just be a fucking grown person.
Yeah, what a creep. Yeah, totally, what a creep. 50 plus years old, stalking a 21-year-old basketball superstar. I mean, just get a life, dude.
What it ends up doing is it ends up putting a little bit of a tarnish, not on Caitlin Clark, but like the WNBA, which has got so much great pub over the course of the last year and a half, with Caitlin Clark being a massive figure in the sports world. You got to hear this negativity, and it's so dumb.
Yeah, I hate it. My that's a shame is AJ Brown didn't get enough catches yesterday, so he started reading a book on the sideline. He says he does this all the time. I would imagine that I would have seen it at some point in the last 5 years of watching AJ Brown play football. I would have seen him reading a self-help book on the sideline. But I guess not. I don't know if it was because he wasn't getting the ball or whatever it was, but dude, it's a playoff game. This is weird as fuck. Apparently, the book overnight on Amazon went like platinum. It's like the #1 selling book on Amazon overnight. The book that he was reading on the sideline. So good for AJ Brown, I guess, for giving the pub to this book. But I just thought it was super fucking weird. What are you doing?
I mean, that book's
he's
pretty
a douche. He's a douche.
Yeah. He's doing classic wide receiver diva stuff, and I don't like it. It's distracting. I'm not an Eagles fan, obviously, but it's just like, go read that book. Obviously, like especially if you have mental problems, if it's a mental health book, awareness book, go get that help. But you're on the sideline in a playoff game, dude. This is not the time.
It was under his jacket, I think.
It's just bizarre.
What are you doing?
It's just bizarre.
What's worse, him reading a book or Mark Sanchez eating a hot dog on the sideline?
I heard Tom Brady said when they panned over to AJ Brown, he was just like, I've never seen anybody read a book on the sideline, but I did see somebody eat a hot dog on the sideline once.
That's awesome.
It's great.
I love that. But yeah, anyway, that's what mine was, and I honestly, whatever. It's not.
What a diva! This could be, and Dusty, you brought up Stephon Diggs earlier. This could be the same case in Philly if they don't win the Super Bowl this year. Just get rid of him.
Yeah,
he's a nightmare. He just seems like he just wants the spotlight at all times.
Tyreek Hill says he doesn't want to be in Miami anymore after they extended him when they didn't need to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you guys do? Shut the fuck up, guys! You're getting paid $50 million a year to play football.
Yeah, Rosenhaus had to come out on McAfee's podcast and kind of smooth that over a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, Brooks,
moving on.
Or do you want to go on the snake draft?
If I have that's a shame. I turned on the premiere. Not that I've watched wrestling ever and since like 8th grade, probably. I turned on the premiere on Netflix the other night.
Oh, Hulk Hogan got booed.
And that's a shame. Hulk Hogan came out and got booed bad.
Why? So why? Can I ask why?
Because he backed Trump in the election, and it was in LA.
Yeah, so LA, very blue, obviously political. But I mean, Undertaker came out and he was an open Trump supporter, and everyone was cheering him. So I don't know. I think maybe just the public perception of Hulk Hogan, especially in LA, with all the shit that's come out with him over the last 20 years. And also just like, I don't know. I also watched that. The Rock came out and was on the mic for 20 minutes in the beginning, and I thought it was terrible. He didn't say anything in 20 minutes somehow. And he also said, if you smell, and then he just said, is cooking. He didn't say what The Rock. He forgot the middle part, which I thought was so fucking weird.
That's weird.
No,
By the way, I just found $5 that I won from Delaware Dave last night, so it was in my pocket.
Nice.
He said that no, he got the whole crowd started chanting Rocky, and then he just said, is cooking.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I just thought it was anyway. I didn't think he did his best stuff there.
I agree.
I
would agree.
He was a little past it.
I defer to Dustin on anything wrestling.
I agree. I think you should. I'm the wealth of knowledge on this podcast when it comes to
Canadian golfers and professional wrestling is your forte.
A couple of my favorite wrestlers are Canadian as well.
Go figure.
Chris
Edge.
Yeah.
Is Chris Benoit your favorite as well?
Chris Benoit was one of my favorites when I was a kid, and then he decided to do something real bad, and now we don't talk about
murder his whole family.
Okay, we're gonna move topics.
We're gonna move to the snake draft, which I've been trying to do for 15 minutes, but I can't because these idiots.
This is your
best minor league
your job.
logos.
This is your job. It's to keep us on the rails.
Best minor league logos. This is going to be any MLB affiliate. I don't know if there's an independent ball teams in here. I don't really care. Go wherever you want with it. This is going to be fun. Who won the draft last week so we can get a draft order, Brooks? You're our guy here.
All right. Tally these up. I think Brian might have edged me by one. Let's see.
Eagles linebacker Nakobe Dean likely out for the rest of the playoffs. That's not good. It's a loss for them for sure.
Without a doubt. I mean, I want to say he's our starting interior linebacker.
He's one of them.
Maybe out, maybe an outside.
Him and Zach Vaughn are like their top off ball guys.
If I remember correctly, obviously I'm not watching a ton of Eagles games on a regular basis, but he's like the version of Roquan. He's Patrick Queen to Roquan Smith. He's a speed guy.
Yeah. Speed guy. He's also wearing like a super low jersey number playing linebacker, which I hate this stupid bullshit where you can be whatever. He's wearing 17 as a linebacker. Just give me a break. I hate this shit. I don't know if anybody hates it as much as I do, but I hate that any player can wear any number now. Does that drive you nuts too?
It doesn't really bother me too much. I understand from a player perspective because I know Brady used to come out about this shit because you could be able to call out jersey numbers when you were making calls and checks at the line. But now these guys change numbers on a weekly basis. Fucking stupid.
Lamar also
it sucks for you buying a jersey.
He's changing to one.
If he wins the Super Bowl, or if he ever wins the Super Bowl, he's changing to one. He's changing his jersey number to one immediately following.
Well, I hope he changes it to one then. All right.
I agree. I hope he's one for the rest of his career.
So Brian and I have tied. If we could get a ruling in the chat on who you think should go first. So if you guys can look at our list, maybe I can pull it up here in a second and give us.
Can just flip a coin.
Yeah, whatever.
Brooks is trying to have fun. I'm not.
By the way, while Brooks does this, Brooks and Caitlin sent me a picture of a carrot that they bought for Mr. Banks and Mr. Hoppy, the stuffed animal. How did that go over, Brooks? The carrot. Did Hoppy eat the carrot?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I bet he did.
Oh, yeah. He's he's still on it. He's still feeding it to Hoppy every chance he gets.
I have so many questions.
You had to change his autograph too, which would be painful. My bank account as a car collector. You're right.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well,
now those number 8s become more valuable.
No, they become they go up. Yeah. They'll go up.
I think you're good, British Raven, because remember when Kobe changed from 8 to 24, everyone was worried about that too, and then now Kobe's number 8 stuff is worth almost as much as his 24 stuff.
Same with LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron was.
I bet you they.
I bet you
they know this, and they can hedge it somehow.
They hedging their shit. Yeah.
I don't know.
All
All right.
got
The only
we got
person.
Brian.
Yeah, Joe says Brian. Joe, you're our guy. You pick. Brian, you get to go first here. What is the best minor league hat? And we know who you're gonna take here.
It's Montgomery Biscuits. Give it to me all day.
It's not even close. I had the hat growing up. It's the Montgomery Biscuits. And for those of you who don't know, maybe I'll be able to pull these up so you can look at them while we draft. I've never done that before, but
You certainly have the ability.
I do have the ability. Thank you, Brooks, for being
Figure
such
it
a
out.
positive influence here. Montgomery Biscuits baseball team. I'm just gonna share this screen.
You just share this screen?
Yes, I did. You're welcome. All right, this is Montgomery Biscuits.
Look at this hat. This is fucking phenomenal.
This is good stuff. It's a biscuit with two eyes and hands and feet, no legs or arms, just hands and feet coming right off the body, and the tongue is butter.
Coming right off the body.
The tongue is butter.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's a no-brainer number one. It's probably the coolest logo ever invented in sports. Brooks, you are number 2 on this draft board. What do you got, dude?
I mean, I'm gonna go with the oh shit, I lost it. I was gonna steal yours, but I'm not gonna steal it.
The bathtub donkeys?
Well, yeah, because their regular logo's sick as well.
I know. I have them in my Rumble ponies.
The Rumble ponies.
Rumble ponies are killer.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna steal it. Give me the Hillsboro Hops.
Damn.
Hillsboro Hops is a good one.
It's my number 2 as well.
If you guys didn't know, the Hillsboro Hops are just a beer hop. Their mascot is just a hop. Look at
So I'm going to say this for Chris Merrick because I know he's saying it to himself right now and he's not live on camera. When we went to Atlanta, we were coaching a barnstorming team. There was some bouncer outside of a bar in Atlanta, and he was like, "Dude, love your weed hat. It's freaking awesome."
Yeah.
It's a hop. It's a beer hop.
Okay, I've got 2 in a row here, and I'm very excited about my 2. I've already typed them into the thing, but I'm going to go with the Rocket City Trash Pandas as my number 1 overall pick. Here is their logo. If you have not seen it, it is a raccoon in a trash can.
It's phenomenal.
And he's got a rocket strapped to his back. It's fucking awesome.
The America one kills me. I love that hat.
Yeah. So that's my number 1, and my number 2 is the Rocky Mountain Vibes. Their team name is the Vibes, and this is their logo. This guy right here. He looks like he's got Pop-Tarts on his arms. I don't know what is going on. I love it. I'm all in on the Rocky Mountain Vibes. So that's what we got now so far. Brooks, you are back up. What do you got, dude?
Let me get back to my screen here.
This is ridiculous.
Give me
so stupid.
Give me the Kannapolis Cannonballers.
Kannapolis?
Kannapolis.
Can someone pull this up?
Oh,
I'm pulling it up now. Oh, that's sick. Look at this
guy.
He's got a mustache too. God, I love a baseball with a mustache.
How do you get this job as this mascot guy in the bottom right? What?
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't even know. There's no way this is an actual minor league team, but who cares? What is Kannapolis? Where is that?
Where's Kannapolis?
I don't remember.
No, I'm going on their Wikipedia page. I'm sharing the screen though. I shouldn't. Not doing that.
Just go on the Wikipedia.
It's a minor league baseball team, single A affiliate of the White Sox. Holy shit! The Kannapolis Cannonballers. Where is that?
Just click on the Wikipedia.
Spartanburg, South Carolina. No. I'm reading the Wikipedia, Brooks.
Oh.
I was on another screen. Anyway, Brian, you get 2 in a row here. What do you got?
I'm going with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
All right, Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, and we're getting that on here right now. That's a pretty sweet logo there. I like this Phillies one. I don't I don't like the Phillies, but that one's pretty cool.
Well, what I also like about the Iron Pigs is they have a thing. See this hat that's right here? It's bacon. It's just purely a strip of bacon.
I know that one. Yeah.
It's just a strip of bacon. This one right here.
That's why I love them so much.
Yeah.
It's just purely a strip of bacon.
God,
that's good. That's a good one. What do you got? What's your next one here?
I got the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. Fort Wayne Tin Caps.
Shout out Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Fort Wayne Tin Caps. I actually looked at this one. It's just an apple wearing a pot on its head.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know where that comes from. But I love it. I love minor league mascots.
Oh,
It's so dumb. It doesn't make any sense.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is, Brooks.
Yeah, it is.
Give me the Wisconsin Udder Tuggers.
Udder Tuggers. Yes, that was my number 5. Damn it.
Udder Tuggers. And we're gonna get that up on the screen here for you. This is their team. This is a real team. This is crazy. How does this happen? Wisconsin.
Look at that uniform, the overall uniform. That is awesome.
The overall
Look
uniform.
at the guy in the
is
bottom
sick.
left. He's wearing suspenders. He's wearing an overalls.
Yeah, that's what their uniform. It looks like overalls on them. That's crazy.
That is awesome. That's amazing.
I can't believe. Okay. Udder Tuggers is going to be yours, so I get 2 in a row here. All right, where am I going to go here? Let's go with. All right, I'm going to go with the. I'm going with the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters. And their logo is some sort of beaver that's on a raft with a baseball bat as his paddle. Don't know where this team comes from. Don't know who they're affiliated with. Maybe the Brewers. But I love this logo. And I'm going to go after that with an old classic here. And I don't even know if it's an old classic, but I love them on Twitter. I'm going with the Portland Pickles.
Yeah.
And it's just a pickle.
It's just a pickle.
It's just a pickle.
Interesting choice.
I
Interesting choice.
I love it.
Look how creepy that guy is in the blue hoodie. That creepy mascot face.
This guy?
Yeah.
How do you not like that? Oh, man. He looks like a bad guy from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
He looks like he was about to catch a predator.
Is this in Portland, Maine, or Portland?
Portland, Oregon.
Okay. Gotcha.
Big pickle community out there.
Austin, that looks like Crash Bandicoot's cousin. Yeah, it looks like his heroin addict's cousin.
The Portland Pickles, baby.
No, not the pickle. Your whatever.
I know. All right, who do you got?
Give me the Norwich Sea Unicorns.
Nice, great call.
Sea Unicorns, is that a thing?
Yep, sure is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Norwich Sea Unicorns. All right, a bat
Makes
with a
total
harpoon
sense.
coming out of it. That's awesome. I wonder where is that? Norwich, is that Connecticut? I guess.
That might be. Yeah, I think it is, or Rhode Island. So I don't know, somewhere up there.
Somewhere up there in the top right.
The Narwhal.
Narwhal.
All right, Brian, you get 2 in a row to finish your draft off here. What do you got?
Yeah, man. I'm going with the Everett Aqua Sox.
I had these on my list. I wish I would have taken them instead of the Pickles, but anyway, the Aqua Sox. It's just a gecko with a baseball hat on.
I don't even know where Everett is, but look at the jersey in the bottom left. It's the old
Is that
school.
King Felix? What is he doing on that team?
Must be the Mariners minor league team.
Gotta be the Mariners.
Oh my god!
Shout out to Sean Barletta. And I just love that jersey. It reminds me of the old Houston Astros jersey.
The Everett Aqua Sox. That's a great answer. I completely missed them on my list. I should have numbered them like last week.
And then I gotta go a little Maryland oriented stuff here, even though it's not a product of Maryland. I'm going with the Charlotte Stone Crabs.
Charlotte Stone Crabs. We got them right here. Actually, that's a pretty sick logo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that. It's boring in comparison to the rest of the stuff that we've caught up with.
Yeah,
it's
I had
still
to,
good.
I had to get something crab oriented in there, and I didn't want to go with the typical stuff that we already have around here.
All right, Brooksy, finish off your draft. What do you got here, dude?
I'm in between a couple right now. But I'll just go with this one. Give me the Danville Otterbots.
I've never heard of this one. This one's
Danville Otterbots. Oh my god!
What the fuck
What is
this?
that?
That is awesome.
And can someone look at Dairy Daddies down here?
Yeah, give me the Dairy Daddies.
What? Dairy Daddies. What is this? Danville Dairy Daddies. This is their... Oh man.
Who comes up with this shit? Who comes up with this stuff?
I don't know. Okay. For my last one, I'm gonna take the Lansing Lug Nuts. And this is their logo. It's just a lug nut. It's fucking hilarious.
So boring.
Lug nut fixed it.
There's some really good ones that we left off. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, the Amarillo Sod Poodles.
I almost wanted the shrimp.
Yeah.
The Modesto Nuts, the Rumble Ponies, as we talked about earlier, the Flying Squirrels. You guys got any more?
Yeah, the El Paso Chihuahuas, only because I lived in El Paso for a while, and it's one of the worst logos I've ever seen in my entire life. So,
the Mad Mallards. Joe wants us to look up the Mad Mallards.
Mad Mallards.
Let's look it up. I'm pulling it up. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Let's hit present, share screen, the Mad Mallards. This is the Mad Mallards logo.
That's cool.
It's a mallard with a backwards hat.
It kind of looks like the duck. Kind of looks like the Long Island Ducks.
Like that.
And go figure that Joe would like something that has a camo jersey.
These are the list I pulled up earlier of where I pulled a lot of these from. I'm just gonna put it up on the screen for you guys here. For you guys who are listening, this has probably been not as much fun for you, so maybe consider watching next time. But anyway, this is the list I pulled up. The Rumble Ponies. This is the team that
consider watching next time.
Akron Rubber Ducks. This is a really cool one. The tire marks on the duck is really cool. Northwest Arkansas Naturals. That's really cool.
That's awesome.
Hartford Yard Goats. Lansing Lug Nuts. I picked there. Columbia Fireflies. That's kind of cool. That kind of looks like the Denver Nuggets logo to me.
The Staten Island Pizza Rats. I just found this one.
Richmond Flying Squirrels is a good one. Brooks took that one. I took this one. Augusta Green Jackets. They have golf clubs on their logo. That's pretty sweet.
Yes. And they actually wear green jackets when they take batting practice time to time.
I actually forgot about the Area 51s.
Yeah, the 51s in Vegas.
I was going to take the Albuquerque Isotopes too. I really like their logo.
They're Penn State.
Fayetteville Woodpeckers.
Quad City River Bandits. The Sugarland Skeeters, which is just a mosquito. I like that. This is the Sea Unicorns.
Oh, I like
the Walla Walla Sweets. This is just an onion. Pretty cool. That one's really cool. The Modesto Nuts. This one's might be even better than the Lug Nuts one I took. The Green Bay Booyah, which I can't believe is a real team.
What is that? What, is Stuart Scott the logo?
Yeah. Portland Pickles. Kokomo Jackrabbits with a carrot as a bat. That's pretty sweet.
Oh, that's cool.
That is sweet.
Is that Kokomo, Indiana?
I don't know. So it's in Indiana. It is Kokomo, Indiana.
Right by you, buddy.
No, it says.
Yeah, it says Indiana.
Does anyone guess Indiana? Yeah.
Pit Spitters. I've heard of it.
Traverse City Pit Spitters. Fuck
Oh,
cherries.
I forgot about them.
Albuquerque Isotopes. Salt Lake Bees. Fayetteville Woodpeckers. Everett Aqua Sox, we already have. Portland Sea Dogs.
By the way, can you go back to the Fayetteville Woodpeckers? It looks like it's a wrench instead of a bat.
Well, he woodpecked some of the bat out.
Ah.
He was pecking.
He was out there
He was
pecking.
pecking.
The Ogden Raptors. This baseball is, I don't know what the hell is going on.
What the fuck's going on there?
The Jumbo Shrimp. That's a good one.
Yeah, Jumbo Shrimp.
Asheville Tourists. I don't really understand that one. The Dock Spiders. That's a really cool one.
Oh, I like that
Whoa,
one.
that's cool.
It's like a tarantula.
Fond du Lac? What is that? How do you say that?
The Corn Belters.
Jeez.
And it says normal Corn Belters.
Yeah, normal is just the name.
Oh,
of
the town.
The Lake Monsters. What do you mean? Is normal the town?
Yeah.
Where's normal?
Where's normal?
Normal, Illinois.
Not on this podcast. Say that
They
much.
should make a movie about that place. This is the Amarillo Sod Poodles. This is just the coolest name, but their logo is not as cool, I don't think. The Trash Pandas we took. The Rocky Mountain Vibes and the Montgomery Biscuits, of course, are number one. Anyway, that is our list there. Those were the, I guess, honorable mentions. You guys have any other ones you like?
No, I'm good. I think we hit everything.
We hit everything.
Yeah.
We did it. Anyway, we'll make a graphic. We'll get that out to you guys so you guys can vote on that. We are going to be back on Thursday to pick the games. We also have we can pick the college game too. We'll talk about some more baseball stuff. Well, actually, because we only have 4 games to pick this week, we're going to have to come up with another topic to do that day. So let's try to think of a little segment, maybe like a 20-minute, 30-minute segment we can do.
That's cool. That's fine. Yeah. When is the national championship game?
The 20th. So a week from today, January 20th, Monday. So yeah, both teams get a little bit of like a 10-day break, I guess. But yeah, anyway, that was our podcast today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Do you guys have any other stuff that you want to go over before we send it off? Go Ravens.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, we try to go live every Monday. We're scheduled for Monday and Thursdays at 11, pending conflicting schedules. So for those listening that don't know, Monday and Thursday at 11's our scheduled slot. That'll change probably throughout the year with baseball season and everything like that. But at the moment, that's our schedule. We're trying to add another show. We'll keep you updated on that as more information comes on, what day and time that will be. So that one will be pretty cool coming out, I think, if everything works out. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be a little collab with another show. So,
thanks, Austin.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us again, dude. You were awesome when you called in last week.
Dude,
it was nice to meet you.
Austin was great, man.
We love the new guys coming into the chat. We also love our classics. Joe Radke, thank you for listening to us. The Naturals can kick rocks. I don't know what did they do to you.
Yeah, Jesus.
They must be they're probably in the same league as the
all right,
as the Arkansas team.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for listening. And Brian, what do you got? Send us off.
Sure. In all honesty, it's been a great week, and I'm really happy to the Ravens won. I want to know what British Ravens jersey was that he wore this past game, and what jersey you have coming up for the next game, and it better be the same fucking one, dude. Don't. We're
Hopefully
superstitious.
It's downtown Marlon Brown.
We're superstitious people,
Number 14.
man. So British Raven, you better wear the same jersey.
We're baseball players. We're superstitious.
Yeah.
We are
superstitious. I love you.
Nada. He said nada.
Yes. Yes.
It,
now, were you wearing nothing, or were you wearing a Haloti Nada jersey?
Hell yeah.
Maybe just the jersey with nothing underneath. Just Daffy. Just Donald Duck in it. Daffy Duck in it.
An old rugby Nada jersey. Yeah.
No, but hey,
to I think at some point this weekend too.
Hey, I love you guys very much. I appreciate you so much. I got a lot going on today. Whatever, neither here nor there. But I do this podcast every week because I have 2 friends who I love and care for very much, so dearly. And thank you, British Raven, because that really you damn it. But take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. Be good to people. And I miss you guys. I can't wait to see you guys in person. Dustin, when are you coming back in town, by the way?
We'll see. I'm not 100% sure
All right.
when I'm going to be there again, but I would imagine it won't be too long. My schedule this time of the year is a lot more lax, so I have a lot more days off. I know a couple of my friends have vacations from their significant others coming up, so maybe I'll come up for a weekend and hang out with one of those boys. So that's the plan. Hopefully, I'll be up there, and maybe if we get lucky and Houston somehow beats the Chiefs and we can beat the Bills, maybe we'll have a little Ravens AFC Championship game. And I'll be able
it's kind of why I asked the question, to see if that ends up occurring. That would be phenomenal. We all get together. You and I get together.
Yeah. Even if so, I mean, if we make the Super Bowl, I mean, we can do a live. We can do some sort of live preview show from the club before that or something like that. I don't know what we're gonna do. But we'll
do something special.
We'll do something
special.
Got to do something before that. But anyway, I'll be up there as soon as possible.
Cool, awesome, and also just you guys take care of yourselves, and I hope Caitlin's doing well, and hope your mom. And happy birthday, Miss Vicky.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Vicky. Happy birthday, Brian. Happy birthday to our dad in a couple of weeks. That's gonna be
a couple of weeks coming up.
Are you guys coming to town?
No, we were just traveling a lot, so I think we're taking it easy here for a month or two.
They're actually going to be going to Florida here soon anyway, so they're going to be gone for a couple of weeks. They're going to do their little thing. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Yeah, DC Baltimore Super Bowl would be epic. I honestly, a Baltimore Philly Super Bowl would be epic. I think this town would burn to the ground.
I think traffic's bad enough already. I don't think we need to fuck with it anymore.
Yeah, dude. Oh man.
Anyway,
thank you guys. We are the kings of long-winded outros. We love you. Thank you for listening.
Sometimes we like to linger. I like to linger.
What's wrong with lingering, dude?
Sometimes you have to
Sometimes you just gotta linger. Just let it linger.
We're no two pump chumps, tell you that much.
Just let it linger. Well, speak for yourself.
I didn't see that one coming. You got me.
I did not want to talk about Brooks's Portland pickle today. Let's go. See you guys. Thank you very much for watching.
See you, boys.
Thank you guys. I love you, boys. See you.